Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. How are you? Somebody who is able to work more effectively, more efficiently, is considered a more intelligent person, more capable person. Of course, those who are more capable and more effective in their work at their workplace are the leaders. Everybody wants to be a leader. Today, we are going to talk about how to be able to work more efficiently, more effectively. Of course, it is a matter of great pride indeed. So, there are certain things to be taken care of. Rather, there are eight things which we need to keep in our mind. So, let's look upon the eight of those things by understanding, which are not so difficult to understand at all. By practicing, we will be able to become a more effective, more efficient person, and of course, the manager or the leader. And so, let's look upon the first segment of it. The first segment, which is the time management, that there are 5 points if at all we want to make the good time management. First of all, it is set clear goals and priorities, clarity in the goals and setting the priorities. Number two, create a schedule and stick to it. Mean decide when to do what out of that, that list of items, list of targets, list of priorities. So that is creating a schedule, but we have to stick to the schedule. We don't have to procrastinate. That is create a schedule and stick to it. Number three, break task into manageable chunks. Yes, breaking of the task into the manageable chunks. It is, I shall like to put forward, quite often I put forward the example of a butcher, of a meat shop. Look what the way they are slaughtering their animals and the work they are breaking. They are breaking their item, the animal, into the several parts. They slaughter is first, remove the skin, then break it into the major chunks and major parts. That is, separating the head first, separating the two legs, then the rear two legs, the torso. So these are the major parts of that animal, either the goat or the bull, whatever it is. In the same manner, why I put forward the example of a butcher and a meat shop? Because it is technical and all the parts are not equal in size. All the parts are not equal in size. So in the same manner, the way the butcher does it with their animal, we have to break the task into the manageable chunks. Now the fourth point, as for the time management is concerned, it is avoid multitasking and minimize distraction. Trying to do more things at one time. Our brain, our mind is not designed for that. Look upon the people who are seen busy on their phone call while driving their vehicle. Of course, it is dangerous. That is why the traffic police impose fine upon these people who are caught red-handed, talking busy on their phone, or talking to somebody on phone while driving their vehicle. The fifth point, as for the time management is concerned, that is take regular breaks, because we cannot become effective person unless and until we are taking the regular break. So that was the segment number one, the time management. Let's go to the segment number two. It is the productivity, mean getting more things done in a lesser amount of time. So that is what is meant by productivity here. There are 5 points here to become a more productive person. First of all, focus on high impact task first. Not every task is equal. Focus on the high impact task first. Mean focusing on the priorities first. Number two, use tools and technology to streamline the process. Using the tools, using the technology. It is like there are so many applications on the smartphone. So we can use the computer and the application or whatever tool, whatever technology is relevant, we can use it for to streamline the process. The third point, as for the productivity is concerned, it is eliminate unnecessary tasks. Elimination unnecessary tasks, not to waste your time, not to waste the precious time and energy, because we have yet to work, because we have yet to accomplish the important thing. Now the fourth point, as for the productivity is concerned, it is delegate tasks when possible. Delegation important enough, because delegate or stagnate, it is a kind of phrase which is highly relevant, which is highly true. Now the fifth and the last point, as far as productivity is concerned, it is continuously evaluate and adjust workflows. Continuously evaluating, continuously adjusting the workflows. That was the second segment, productivity. Now the third segment is communication, communicating with other people. There are 5 points in it. Clarify expectations and clarify objectives. Clarification of the expectation from somebody, from a particular type of task, and of course clarifying the objectives if at all we are. Now the second is listen actively and ask questions. Listening actively with the with the full attention and ask questions whatever could not be whatever could not be understood properly. The third is provide regular updates and feedback. Provision of providing regular updates and providing regular feedback as well. Taking the feedback, giving the feedback, keeping us updated, keeping our team updated. Now, the fourth point is be transparent and honest, because transparency and honesty, of course, it is of prime importance. The fifth and the last point in the communication is in being a good communicator is use clear and concise language, using the clear and using the concise language, clarity on the one hand and being concise on the other hand. The third segment of being a highly effective person is collaboration. Collaborate with other. Seek cooperation and cooperate other people. There are 5 points in it. The first point is build strong relationships with the colleague. Building of strong relationships with the colleague, because unless and until we are having the good relationship with the others, we will not be able to you know we will not be able to become an effective person. Now the second point, as for the collaboration with other people is concerned, it is foster open communication and be a trustworthy person. Open communication on the one hand and trust on the other hand, we need to foster the both of these. Now the third point, as for the collaboration is concerned, it is define rules and responsibilities. Defining rules and defining responsibilities. What is your role, what is my role, and what is the responsibility of yours, what is the responsibility of mine. So that is the point number 4. The point number 5 is learning from failures and collaborate, learning from failures and celebrate success. Celebrate for success on the one hand and learning from the failures on the other hand. Now the fifth point, fifth segment is self-care. Prioritize physical and mental well-being. Prioritizing the physical and mental well-being. So how can we take care of the physical well-being? Mean sleeping 7 to 8 hours of every night. Providing the nutritious food to us, regular exercise on the other hand, and then of course we need to learn to manage the stress. As for the mental well-being is concerned, we need to learn to manage the stress. We need to have the coping strategies of, if somebody is toxic, if somebody is not is so good with you, is toxic about you, toxic with you, it is far better to create a good amount of distance, not to interact with them unless it is essential, and once it does essential, then to stick to the minimum amount of time with those people. Prioritize physical and mental well-being. The second point is take breaks and practice self-compassion. Self-compassion. We need to be kind-hearted person with ourselves. We don't need to be cruel. We don't need to be careless. We don't need to become a harsh critic of ourselves. Rather, we need to practice the self-compassion. We need to take the breaks, and now the third is set boundaries and maintain work-life balance. Setting boundaries with all the people, setting boundaries between our work time, between our personal lifetime, setting boundaries and maintaining work life balance. Here the emphasis is on the work life balance by setting the boundaries. Number 4, engage in continuous learning and continuous development. Engage in the continuous learning and development, because there is no development without learning. And if at all we want to develop on a sustainable basis, it is totally impossible if at all we are not learning. The fifth and the last point is seek support when needed. Seeking support when needed, of course. Now the sixth segment, that is goal oriented. Being a goal oriented person, how can we become a goal oriented person? And set smart goals. What is the smart? It is not a word, rather it is the abbreviation comprising the 5 letters. S for specific. My goal should be specific. M for measurable. I want to achieve a million, but I have till now got only 150,000. So it is the measurability. 1 million is measurable. 150,000 is measurable. Your goal should be specific on the one hand, measurable on the other hand, attainable. A for attainable. Attainability means that not to set such a bigger goal that whatever you wanted to achieve in 1 year, you are unable to achieve even in the 7 years. So the goal should be attainable, the realistic, the doable, the achievable. So now the R for R stands for the relevant. Mean these goals should be the goals which will bring improvement in my life, or in the life of my loved one, or in the life of the general public. So the R for relevant, and then T for time bound. Time bound mean that I want to achieve this thing by the end of 2024. So that is being a time bound. Set smart goals. Number 2, break down large goals into smaller tasks. Breaking down of large goals into smaller tasks, so that we could do one thing at a time, and by doing one thing, then the next thing we will be able to do. Like, suppose that I have divided, and I have divided my major task into the 17 manageable chunks. So one at a time, of course, I will be able to complete all of those 17. And then it will be a matter of great happiness that, okay, I have accomplished this much. So it is, break down large goals into smaller tasks. The third is track progress and adjust strategies. Tracking of the progress on the one hand, adjusting of the strategies on the other hand. Because if at all we are not adjusting, we are not tracking the progress, it means we are wasting the time. The fourth point is stay focused on long term objectives. Staying focused on long term objectives. Now the fifth point is celebrate achievements, celebrate milestones. So that is now the next segment. The seventh segment is accountability. Accountability. Accountability of whom? Of ourselves. There are 5 points. Number 1, take ownership of your task, your decision. Taking ownership. Yes, I am responsible for the decisions I made for these tasks. I am responsible. I take ownership. Number 2, be accountable for mistakes and learn from them. Being accountable for the mistakes I have done. I am learning from those mistakes, because holding ourselves accountable very necessary. Learning from each of the mistake is also very important. Number 3, set high standards for yourself as well as for others. Number 4, provide constructive feedback. Yes, providing constructive feedback to other people and seeking the constructive feedback from those people as well. The fifth is continuously evaluate and improve performance. Yes, continuously continuously evaluating and improving the performance. Now the last segment is flexibility. Flexibility. Adapt to changing circumstances. Adopt because the circumstances will keep changing. The only thing permanent in the world is change. So the change, we don't need to fight the change at all. Adopt to changing circumstances. Number two, be open to new ideas and perspectives. Be open to new ideas. Don't be a person of the fixed mindset. Rather, develop the growth mindset by being open to new ideas, by being open to the new perspective, the perspectives of other people. So that too contain a lot for me. The third point here is pivot when necessary. Pivot when necessary. Number four, stay resilient. Stay resilient in the face of challenges. Stay resilient in the face of challenges. Yes, I need to be resilient. If at all there was a setback, if at all there was a failure, it does not mean giving up at all. Rather, I should like to continue struggling, continue to work hard, continue to work smart. So, bouncing back, stay resilient in the face of challenges. The fifth point, the last point, continuously learn and innovate. Learning continuously, learning, innovating continuously, learning continuously, innovating continuously. Very, very important. There were 8 segments. Each one of these was very important indeed, very useful, very beneficial indeed. By implementing these strategies, you will be able to work more efficiently, effectively, and productively. By implementing these strategies, you will be able to work more efficiently, more effectively, of course, more productively. It was a highly useful and beneficial discussion today for all the people who want to become more successful, for all the people who want to achieve big. So that's all from me today. Thank you very much.